We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Me Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, angry faithful of all ages and everything else. Thank you for tuning in to another. Your AC's on again. I love our production. How every time we get on air and everything goes a little bit crazy, but it's okay, everybody. We're here to tell you weird stuff that's happened throughout this week. Yes. Is it news? Maybe. Is it weird? Yes, it's very definitely is weird. Now, Bill, our first topic of today was I picked this up, and it's just the headline. Meta has agreed to pay President Donald Trump $25 million to settle I'm going to have to mute you until your AC goes off. There we go. Meta has agreed to pay President Trump $25 million and to settle a 2021 federal lawsuit against First Amendment violations and others claimed following the company's suspending him from Facebook and Instagram in the wake of January 6th attack on the Capitol. That payout results the suit Trump filed against Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg filed for allegedly engaging in impersonal censorship by removing the president at that time from social media platforms. A Meta spokesman confirmed the settlement sum, which was first reported by Wall Street Journal. The company officially said 22 million of its settlements will be dedicated to Trump's presidential library, with the rest going to his legal fees and other platforms that joined Trump suing. There we go. It's over now. I can unmute you.
I shut the system off.
Let's
see if it gets too cold in here.
Yeah. On that note, I like how they did it to where 22 million is more or less going to the presidential library, because we all know Trump doesn't need the money. I mean, I don't know. Is he not taking a paycheck this time?
Because no, he's not taking a paycheck. I haven't heard. I saw it and I don't remember where it's going, because he donates it to different organizations. But also on the presidential library, remember, he had an aircraft. He designed the paint scheme for it, the new Air Force One.
Yeah.
But Boeing has been behind and behind and behind on it. And now liberals are all thrilled because it looks like it's been pushed to after he gets out of office. So, woohoo, they're all thrilled for more than one reason. One, because he won't be able to ride in it and it won't have his paint scheme necessarily. It could have another one. Also, when whatever president is in office, if there's a new Air Force One comes out, then the old Air Force One he gets to take and put it in his presidential library.
Wait, what do you mean? The not the whole plane, right?
Yeah. Look at Reagan's presidential library. Reagan's presidential library has the entire Air Force One that was switched out. The first one he flew on, they got a new one partway through his administration. So when that happens, the president gets to take that Air Force One and put it in his library. So they're nuts because he asked Elon to go to Boeing and see if he can speed production up. Now the liberals are hoping that they do and make a mistake and it'll crash. They're hoping they speed up production and there's a failure.
Is it Ronald Reagan's Presidential Foundation Institute? Oh my God! Yeah, you're right. Jeez.
So if Elon can go and get it pushed up, then it can go in his library.
I still like one of the things Doge did is they found I think it was like $250,000 thing to get a staple that doesn't stapler that doesn't jam. And Elon Musk is like, really? We're giving the money back, and I have my engineers figure it out, and I'll give this out for everybody for free, no patent. He doesn't keep patents on all of his. I mean, even on his SpaceX stuff, it's not patented. So.
Right. He truly believes, and liberals don't believe this. He truly believes space is for all of us. He came out and said when the Blue Origin just launched their rocket last week, he came out and said, good for them. As many people as we can get into the space race.
Yeah.
But we still hope we do it. By that, I'm not meaning that he's cheering the Chinese to get their rocket in space, but he cheers anyone, Bezos thanked him, but people are, of course, the liberals are like, oh, he doesn't really mean that because he's greedy.
Well, everybody has this thought that people that are super rich are inherently greedy, which the ones that actually you see in like publicized and everything, you're kind of right. I mean, we have this notion only because of the Rockefellers. If I had a chance to go back in time and take somebody out, that would be the people to take out. I do not like the Rockefellers. I hate them to my core.
Well, yeah, but if you watch the documentary, The Men Who Built America, we needed them at the beginning. We wouldn't have a lot of the things we have if we.
I totally understand that, but what they did with the coal miners, a bunch of the other stuff, dude. I mean, even their pharmaceutical stuff using petroleum products for pharmaceutical uses, which none of that stuff they put out works. It causes, it was just an evil company. It's on league with like Bear.
Yeah, we like you say, I could easily slip into a lot of stuff right now that I've seen and researched, but it's stuff that, as David said, would probably get this video dinged, or they would just remove his channel completely.
Yeah, I mean, we just got our copyright strike taken away like Monday. So
Really, they
yeah.
take those away?
Yeah, if as long as you don't do it constantly, because you get like 85 days, 90 days where you can't. We went with what happened is a person decided to showcase the Kansas City Chiefs game, last 2 minutes of it on our page or on our channel, and it got dinged for copyright. We had like a week and a half. And what's even worse, it was during the election. We were going to go live during the election all night. I took a day off. I had everything set up. And what had happened is he ended up just totally ruining it. We had to go to his channel, and he kept on. Was like, "Oh, we're gonna play music." I was like, "No, we're here for the election. This is why we do this. This is the reason why we brought back What the Hell, and we got rid of like psychos and sociopaths, so we can do political stuff and go live with it." And he was just,
And
we're done with him. So,
and no reaction videos, huh?
you can do reaction videos, but you have to go through like 5 minutes or so for that. It's how you have to do it and everything. You can do reaction videos. It's just how you do the videos of it. You can only do like a certain time frame.
Now, I saw a reaction video that was interesting this week. Have you ever seen Shoe on Head?
Mm-mm.
She's really funny. I watched her a few years ago. She tries not to get political, but she has recently, and she had two political videos out, and then other people started doing reaction videos off of her video. So she did a reaction video reacting off of them reacting on her video.
That's the reason why I don't like doing reaction videos.
Well, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Here's another thing that's been it's trending on the news, mostly on X and other places on TikTok and everything like that, is Selena Gomez and Joey Diaz does. I know I can't do his thing right now because of the time frame, but he just lays into her bad because she goes in and she's like, "I'm so sorry for America treating Mexicans like this. It's horrible." It's so
and then under the post on that with her video, people have posted the pictures of her mansion.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, you poor thing, you're just so deprived.
Well, no, okay. It's like the first press junket, which if we gather up some money and if we can get like I want you to be our press guy at least once, because you can go on their website, you can go up there, ask a question, and then just leave. I will pay for a 2-day travel to Washington, D.C. for you to do that, Bill, if we can raise the money. Would you be interested?
Well, I can go out and buy a lottery ticket, and then I can sign up on that website. And there's probably a greater chance of me hitting Mega Millions than being accepted for the press.
You'd be surprised.
I think Comfortably Smug was today. I think.
Was it?
Yeah, this was. I think it was the first one where they didn't have the mainstream media or the lamestream media, where they didn't have them do it. They allowed someone who was a podcaster in, and she gave him the first question today.
Oh, nice.
That was pretty cool. And I'm sure they're just all.
Well, okay. Here's the thing with a podcast and everything like that. Most people are getting their news from podcasts, and we're slowly growing to the point to where we could do stuff like that. I would love to do stuff like that. That's one thing I would love to do. I would love, like, when you go to these conventions, I would love for you to go in there and have somebody with a camera, you have a mic, and start asking questions, because I know that would be your, like, that would be so, you would be on like cloud nine on that.
Oh, I would, yeah, I would love to do that. Just go into a large group of Republicans, put on a Harris Walls hat, and no, I wouldn't. It would be serious. They would know I'm serious. I don't think I'm ready to display my fake name yet, but
Kyle William.
No, not that one. The one that we won't mention.
Oh,
okay. The one that I had started a website and 10 years ago, and they said, "Oh, we want to donate to it." So after about a month, we want to donate to it, and then I went ahead and set up a link where they could donate, called it a tip jar, and then I went to work one night. And I was at work, and on our first break, someone said, "Hey, your real name shows up in that. You need to take it down right now, or someone might burn your yard." So I called my wife and I said, "Get my laptop up here." So on my second break at work, I went out in the car and I spent the time out in the car editing the website and removing the link till I could get it fixed.
Oh, yeah, getting doxxed is it's one of my kind of like fears, but you know, if you need extra help, maybe a cute winter boot in size 9, I will gladly let you borrow one.
Well, there was a good, and I didn't put it up as something to discuss, but there were a couple of real good ones about people getting doxxed or people getting doxxed and their entire life was ruined, which often happens if you're a conservative, and that's what happened with the first Tea Party. They were doxing people right and left and just destroying their lives. It would come out that you supported the Tea Party, and they would go after you. They'd call where you work. They'd go after everything. And
that happens a lot with a lot of podcasters nowadays. They get doxed. I mean, even Johnny's wife got doxed, and she vocalized her opinion on something that she feels very passionate about, and some woman found out where she lives, and Johnny's her husband, and Johnny knows how to take care of things, and they went away really fast. He didn't do anything harmful with them, but he showed them what a real man is, if you know what I mean. My meaning on that. But those things happen, and it is really scary, especially when you want to do stuff like this and be influencers. There's also stuff like swatting. Swatting is what they do is they get people and they say that, oh, so-and-so kidnaps has a person that he kidnapped in his house, and they go in and SWAT goes in and takes down. It's happened to a lot of influencers. I mean, it happened to Tim Pool. I know it happened to Donut Operator too.
Oh my gosh, what is Marjorie Taylor Greene? It happened to her several times.
Yeah. But it's one of those things you set yourself up for that kind of scrutiny. Is it, bad? Yes, it's absolutely bad. But you also have to have the foresight that you're doing this and you're vocalizing your opinions, and some people don't like those opinions. We've we've had a comment on some of our stuff that we're retarded. Are we? Slightly. I'm not gonna lie, we're probably a little bit. But and the person that and on all the comments I'm gonna do, and I already told Johnny this, I'm gonna just say thank you for the comment and just leave it at that. And dude, the laundry list we got last time for something about the Luigi Mangiano, or the guy that shot the CEO. Just a laundry list of stuff. And Johnny, I don't know what happened with Johnny that day, but it happened on Monday. And I tell them, hey, I'm gonna take all the flack when it comes to comments and everything. And I showed him the comment, not thinking that I shouldn't have done it. And I love Johnny to death. And the way he reacted to it, he on the defensive. I love them to death. And I told him that. I was like, dude, you can't let these people get to you. They don't pay your rent. And if someone does that to me, am I going to be a little bit upset? Yes. Am I going to be more upset if it happens to one of my friends and everything? Oh, absolutely. I have very, very, if it happens to me, If it happens to one of my friends,
Well, I couldn't do anything about that. I do have a weapon here at home.
You have cute winter boots.
It's a high velocity blowgun. It's 5 feet long, so it's high velocity. I mean, they say you could nail a squirrel to a fence.
I actually want to test this. I want to test it now.
I have a friend who's a farmer, and I took it up to his farm, and he goes, hey, let's connect our air compressor to it. And we were shooting it at birds with his air compressor. It still wasn't it still wasn't hitting them. So, up high, far away. So it's short range, and if someone was breaking in, it's not like, hold on. It's not like it would be a good defensive weapon. The pole that the green screen is held up with would probably be a better weapon.
Yeah. That's another thing that a lot of people are having right now is they're scrutinizing is like, oh, Trump's border policy is sending immigrants back to Mexico. It's horrible and everything. Mexico's having the same thing with themselves too. They're upset with illegal immigrants coming in too.
Well, yeah, I didn't put it up, but there is a meme that shows Mexico building the wall to keep the immigrants who are trying to self-deport out.
Yeah, a lot of them that happened. That was actually real. That actually happened 3 days before Trump's inauguration. And what had happened is they were like, no, we're not going to deal with this. And they went back home. So I totally understand that. Here's the thing, okay? People will see this video and going, oh, he loves Trump. He loves the deportation with Trump. Yes, I love the criminals that are getting, and yes, all people that cross that border, They've asked that question so many times. Are you going to support the border stuff that's happening right now? What happens if, I mean, even at the press secretary goes in and they're like, with all the illegals, Trump said he's just going to do the criminals. Why is he going after everybody? Because they're all criminals. They've broken the law coming in here illegally. People can't get that concept for some freaking reason. Here's the flip side on that. A lot of farmers and other people, and I hate to say it this way because this is the harsh the way to say it. People are losing their minds because they're losing technically their slaves. They're not, and it's farmers. People are making a decent amount of money off of the illegal immigrants coming over here and getting jobs and trying to be actual active citizens in the United States. And yes, they cross the border illegally. What is this? But without slaves, who can pick up my crops? Without who can pick up my crops? Yes. That is totally right on that one. It is so sad. And it's not even just crops, it's just a lot of one, it's crops, two, it's also building houses. It's a lot of stuff that people that come over here illegally looking for a better life, yes, but they have to be vetted. We have to, and what another thing they're trying to do is they're trying to shorten the process from vetting people and getting the people that just want to come over here and work.
Well, I heard a statistic. Someone brought out that actually only 1% of the crops are picked by people who are illegal.
Really?
And it always gets me, the hypocrisy. They take and they want, okay, we want higher wages. Everyone needs a living wage. Get the unions involved, raise their wages. Hey, if you don't get these illegals in here, your price is going to go up. So you're purposely trying to get a group of people in to work at a low wage while you're fighting saying everyone should have a living wage.
Yeah, it's
the hypocrisy there is just completely insane.
It really is. It baffles my mind. It really does. Because I can't stand people that are oppressed. And I've seen like the worst of oppressed. I was in Kuwait. And people are like, oh, Kuwait has very they're super rich. How can you say that's worse there? Because they have people. Kuwaitis don't want to do their job, don't want to work, so they actually have people. Most of our TCNs, they're third country nationals that came to work for us when we're at the base that we were at, and most of them got paid like bare minimum. I mean, $3 an hour, and that was 2001. They were getting like $3 an hour, but in their country, that is a lot of money. I think they said it was like 3 dinars an hour. And dinars was like $1.50 compared to our dollar, I believe. So it was minimum wage in the United States too, even still not to this day. But the problem with that was the basic fact of they lived on close to poverty, because that place, everybody had money. I mean, they're I think per month, if they didn't want to work the men get like $1,000 and 500. Or that was the price that you would get if you came in and you work as a like a United States citizen. They'd get paid more. Yeah, but doing contract work and everything, I know people that got paid like $100,000 and all they were secretary.
Not the Afghan nationals.
No, not it wasn't really Afghan nationals. It was Afghan, it was India, Pakistan, uh most of them were from India though. But they were like Pakistani, Afghan, had one guy that was from Iran. I don't know how he got vetted through, but he got vetted through. It was just different nationalities.
Did it take?
Go ahead.
Did it take their salary to live, or did they send some of it away? Like, were they from some other countries there, or all actually Afghanistan people?
No, okay, it's not Afghanistan people. This is in Kuwait.
Oh, Kuwait. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of Filipinos too, but they did what most people do when they get they work in different countries. They get a certain lot of money they'll keep to survive and send the rest of the money back home to help out their family or whatnot. It's the same thing that happens here. It happens in a lot of I don't want to say one word world country, but higher tier of living countries. Now, saying that, one of the soldiers I talked to recently, he said he went to Kuwait again, and he was hanging out with people for a show he was doing on one of the bases. And he said, he's like, yeah, we had a Filipino driver, and he said it's a lot better than Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia treats everybody, the lower class citizens, like shit.
Now, our the Hispanics here, they send their money back to Mexico as it's called remittances. And during Trump's first administration, he said Mexico was going to pay for the wall. Well, you were an idiot if you were the liberal type who was like, oh, they didn't write a check because he meant they would write a check. No, he even had a plan. If you looked on his campaign website, to use remittances. He was going to freeze remittances confiscated to pay for the wall. And it wasn't just him. During this last campaign, that's what DeSantis said. They were going to use remittances. So it isn't out of the ordinary. It wasn't a goofy thing that he said he was going to do. It's how it was going to be done. And he has mentioned that now freezing remittances, I guess, since he's deporting as many as possible, it'll be freezing remittances of anyone who's left. But now there's the sending the people to Guantanamo, and people are going, oh, there's not 30,000 beds. It can only handle, what was it, 580 or something. But then there's two different things there. There's a detention, the detention center, and then there's I'm drawing a blank. That's what he said. They're going to go to. There's two different things, two different locations on Guantanamo. Guantanamo isn't a prison. Guantanamo is a military base.
Yeah.
So there's a lot on there other than the prison. So the liberals are coming out going, oh, he's lying. He can only fit such and such. It's only ever had a maximum of 500 and some. No, it's a different location on the base. And it isn't going to be run right now. The Department of Defense runs the center that has the terrorist at it. The Immigration and Customs Department is going to be running the center where we're going to be shipping the illegals who are dangerous as a transfer station until they can be shipped to their origin countries. We don't have enough temporary places to put them, so we're going to move them there until we can get more locations built here. But they're going to have funding, so the continuing resolution is going to have to pass with funding in it for ICE to be able to build those centers. So in the meantime, we can use that, and he can expand it without needing additional money that ICE would have to spend here.
I could see how that could work out. It would be a little bit better. I mean, if they accidentally get out and run to Cuba, good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't foresee that happening.
But yeah, I could see how that could work off because it'd be a stopping point. I mean, Cuba used to be a stopping point for cocaine. I mean, until one of the, I forget which president it was, but I think it was Reagan. They initiated harsher stuff on Cuba, and Castro had to stop the cocaine trips from Miami.
Well, the latest thing that's happened is the liberals are taking day by day everything they can to twist it around to pound Trump with. Like we had mentioned the eggs. Whenever I see someone make a comment about the eggs now, I just go, well, we're dealing with Biden's bird flu.
Yeah, that's true.
Because over 2.5 years, he's lost over 100 million chickens, and I think the amount that was killed within the last month. Don't exactly quote. I think it was 17 million that they just slaughtered.
Yeah, it's a lot worse than that because they had fires during 2021, and during those fires, we did an episode on it. Me and Chris did an episode on it, and it was we had to find the information. This is how ridiculous it was. The information we found from it was actually from like it was more or less a 100 million chickens. Biden's administration. Why are the eggs so rich? It's Trump. That's hilarious. But here's the thing: we did an episode. The only viable information we got that told us the whole truth of it was a website dedicated to fire safety. I look, dude. Chris told me the topic he wanted to cover, and I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. Let me look for the information. I found so many sources that gave me so much bullshit, and this is like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, Yahoo News. It was just ridiculous of what information. I had to go to a source that they talked about fire safety. And they wrote an article, hey, this is what's happening with the chicken farms, and this is what you need to know about it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm getting my news source from a safety brief from freaking fire safety website. National Fire Safety. That's what it was. And that's how I got it was legitimate information about the chicken fires and everything and what happened with the chickens.
Yeah, going directly to the industry is often the best way to go. I just flat out, if I start seeing something I'm questioning, I just flat out start going to that right off the bat, or going to foreign news sources.
Yeah, a lot of the news sources that I get my stuff from is like Sky News is really good. They had their liberal meltdown.
Left losing it.
Yeah, they do a liberal meltdown. And what's really sad is Australia is one of those countries that have been in talks taking away free speech, just like UK and Canada, sort of.
Not necessarily just in talks. They're
actually doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually moving away. I've been following a lot from the Canadians and from the UK and from Australia. And Australia is really excited about, the freedom-loving Australians are excited about Trump. They're hoping that some of it will spread across to them. And it's kind of like, I really love this guy.
America's back.
The guy on the left is Senator Babbitt. He is a current senator from Australia, who on his X account had the fight banner up. That was his X account. So if you look at his Twitter feed right now, it's just all, America, hoping it bleeds over to them. But then you've got the brainwashing has been like the frog boiling in a pot. Slowly, they've taken freedoms away. So a lot of them don't even know what it is to be free. We've got this trade embargo coming up, possibly at midnight. This trade tariffs, 25% on Canada and Mexico, and 10% on China. Now, we don't know, and press secretary was asked today, and the decision hadn't been made if they're going to carve out oil and not put the embargo on oil. I really hope they don't. One of the things is we get oil from Canada. We could produce our own oil, but we make more money selling our oil to other countries. They go, oh, we export it. Yeah, sure we do. But when we get oil from Canada, we get oil at a discounted per barrel rate from Canada. And then we sell our more expensive for a higher rate to other countries. Now, you had the first thing that Biden did was got rid of the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
He shut that off.
Which is, it's back up right now, right?
No. See, when the Keystone XL pipeline was shut down, they said, we're not going to do it again. We're not going to open it back up, because Alberta had to give them a lot of money, the company that was doing that. So Alberta lost the money, and the company that was doing it lost money.
Yeah. Okay.
So they said, oh, we're never going to do it again. Well, the lady who is the let me bring it up. This lady, she's the premier of Alberta. Now, Alberta is a conservative province. Most of the provinces in Canada are really nut jobs. And notice what she said in December. They're internationally ties with Texas and South Dakota. She's the one who makes the decisions on the pipeline, because that's where the pipeline is. Mm-hmm. Last year in spring or summer, before Trump was even elected, he had already been in discussions with her. And she said, okay, if you win, maybe we'll consider restarting the pipeline. So evidently, looking at anything I found on here, I think she has made the decision that once he pulls the trigger to restart the pipeline, they're going to restart it.
Okay.
So what happens if he does this this embargo, this tariff, and puts it on the oil? We don't want to tick her off because she's really for us. And here's one of the other interesting things about it. If you look at Canadians, most of the Canadians are flipping their fingers off when we say make you your 51st state. Right? Most of them are going, oh, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. I was digging through a bunch of people from Alberta today. People from Alberta are going, make us the 51st state. We want to get away from them. It sounds like they have the same attitude as we do in Texas about California. It's like, break off. And then the people in Quebec were going, yeah, we won't miss you. So it's the exact same thing of us in California with Alberta and the rest of Canada. It was hilarious going through that today. And I was specifically looking at posts that dealt with the upcoming tariff to see what the attitudes were. And of course, we've got the commercials. What are they? Are they Quebec? I think that once Trump was elected, they came out with all the, you see them all the time, the we're good trading partners and all that. But who knows what's going to happen? But we need to keep her happy. So I really hope at midnight, if they hadn't made a deal and stopped this thing, I really hope he has that carve out for the oil.
He probably does. I mean, look at what all the stuff he's doing with Russia before the negotiations. I mean, he already said, he's like, hey, listen, if you stop your shit, we'll help you build another pipeline. And it actually would help a lot of people out. Yes, it would help out Russia immensely too, which is really, but I hate to say this right now, it really is. Russia's not really our enemy. I mean, yes, they do stupid shit and everything like that from back in the day. And a lot of other countries that royally mess with us, they're not really enemies to the point of all we need to do is get it set up to where they're making money and they won't have to you don't have to worry about getting into fights and everything with those people. Well, it's only the extremists that you really have to, and it is religion extremists that scare me.
Well, the biggest reason not to have that pipeline, you're talking about the pipeline in Russia?
Yeah.
The biggest reason not to is that's how they get their money.
Yeah.
And we're trying to cripple their money. We want to sell the oil. We want to increase our production and increase our sales of oil going to the EU. Germany, like a friend in Germany, they're we're EV. Well, yeah, when the government practically buys them for you, you're EV. Like in the UK, they subsidize tires. If you have an EV, you don't have to buy tires. The government pays for it. But really? They say, the price of gas over here and electricity is so cheap. Well, right when the Ukraine war started and they didn't have the electricity, some of their, I did the calculation of the euros to dollars, and some of their their electricity was at 79 cents per kilowatt hour. So you start charging an electric vehicle at 79 cents per kilowatt hour, and it's costing you a lot more than gas. And after that, they actually had to restart their coal plants, their dirty coal that the environmentalists had shut down, because they didn't have enough electricity to get through the winter. So then they had to have fuel transported in any way they could from Russia, because we were no longer increasing our production to send to them. Biden had put brakes on our liquid natural gas exports. So, and then another one with another issue with Canada with oil and that pipeline. That pipeline is heavy crude. And there's only a few refineries in the world that can process heavy crude. One of them's in Texas. And that's what the oil from the pipeline was going to go to. Now, Biden they put an embargo on oil from Venezuela, but he had to lift it just for heavy crude, so that refinery in Texas could get the heavy crude. So instead of a nice clean pipeline bringing the oil from Canada, who does environmentally, they get it out of the ground as clean as they can, then we have to have pollution belching super tankers from Venezuela that doesn't care about how much they pollute the environment going to South Texas. So they still get the oil. It's just the environmentalists are idiots, because if they look at what the consequences are of their actions, it's a lot worse.
Yeah.
And I did the calculation last year, and I can't remember how much it was, but if you take the calculation of what they expected the XL pipeline to pump, the amount of oil versus the amount of super tankers that it would take to replace that amount of oil, it was just unbelievable. The amount of super tankers versus just transporting it through a pipeline. And when they say, oh, the pipelines leak. I looked at a report of one of the years. They said, oh, there was 70-something leaks of a pipeline. Well, if you went and read what the leaks were, there were some of them that were a valve leaked into a bucket. And that was what they called a leak in the pipeline. A bucket under a valve. So when they talk about the leaks, that's another thing. You got to look into the details and go, okay, what were they? Because they inflate garbage like that all the time.
Yeah, it becomes ridiculous of the words they try to use on certain things. Like I remember, well, it's just like what right now with Venezuela. I mean, and Venezuela is like, oh, we're going to attack America with the help of Colombians. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because Venezuela is another one of those places that are starving really bad. And their only export is oil.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Rubio, what all he's getting done. You know, he's down or heading to the Panama Canal right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And let's see, Panama says, no, we control the canal, but the Chinese control the entry and exit points. So they may own the canal, but as far as the pricing, they're not necessarily setting the pricing. China may be setting the actual pricing since they own the ports.
Mm.
But I don't know about him getting. If there's one thing that I want him to get, we discussed it last week. It's Greenland. We need Greenland, and even if it's not a 51st state, it needs to be a territory.
Yeah.
Because they talk about, oh, the Netherlands, whatever. No, they've already got the Chinese on their soil that beat Trump to it. Trump was working on it last administration, but between the last administration and this one, the Chinese kind of made a deal with them and have the rights to rare earth minerals. People are like, oh, Trump is doing the tariffs on China, and China has all the rare earth minerals. So no, when you do a tariff, it doesn't mean that Americans are going to pay more necessarily. Maybe for a short time, But in the meantime, there are other locations to get the products. So we really needed to have that first jump into Greenland that he didn't get last time. So we would be there and making deals for the minerals. Right now, it's between China and Australia have partnered for a mine in Greenland. I don't know if he can even work a deal with Greenland. How those mineral rights now that I think they have like 15, 20 years maybe worth that they have purchased in some locations.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know what he can do about those. I'm sure he'll try. I'm sure he's got a lot of things going. He could walk and chew gum at the same time. It's not like, oh my God, what are you doing about the price of eggs? Well,
everybody
you can do more than one thing at a time.
Yeah, man. As much as he's doing right now, I'm still amazed because he went to the California for the fires and set them up. And we talked about that last week. He went to. I was like, he took a call with Colombia on the weekends while he was playing golf and got him to take the freaking illegals.
And they're like, oh my God, look, he was playing golf. Well, yeah, he was playing golf, but within 45 minutes on the golf course, a war started, a trade war, and ended before he went a couple of holes.
Yeah. All right,
so
check this
out. He does business. He doesn't just play. But you know this egg thing. Everyone, Chuck Schumer, the politicians, the idiot liberals. See, President Trump owes American families some answers about what he's going to do about the high price of eggs. You know, he can't. It's going to take a while, and they're talking like he can only do one thing at a time. He's doing
that. Let's look at this new press secretary. This person, Jeffrey Mead, did a night and day difference on his ex.
I am obviously acutely aware that my presence at this podium represents a few firsts. I am a Black, gay, immigrant woman, the first of all three of those to hold this position.
How are we? Good to see all of you. It's an honor to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new faces. And President Trump is back, and the golden age of America has most definitely begun. The Senate has already confirmed 5 of President Trump's exceptional cabinet nominees.
Another perfect example of why DEI needs to go. Pay attention. When Biden's press secretary got up there, what was the first thing she?
Yeah.
No, you can keep playing it.
Oh,
it's a good one to keep to the end.
Hold on. See if I can find it again.
I'm glad you had that, because that was my first thought when you were doing the comparison, when you mentioned the comparison, because I had seen
that. I don't think I can find it again. Hold on. No, I am not finding it again. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I'm scrolling, and apparently I broke the internet and I can't find it again.
Oh no, I break things too, but it has something to do with like over 4,000 tabs open. It kind of slows things down sometimes. So if you see me looking choppy, that could possibly be why.
Yeah. I'll fix her little layout again. But here's the thing that I don't understand why people don't I'm a double entendre on that one. Where do they put like the first 100 days on a lot of the stuff for the news of what he's doing?
Yeah, he did more in the first 100 hours
Yeah.
than most do in the first 100 days.
He did most in the first 8 hours he was working. But he also had all this set up. It was like as soon as he got voted in, not got into office, he was already working deals, getting everything set up. I mean, he helped out to get the ceasefire done. And Biden had to come back and like, oh, I helped out too. No, you didn't. Just sit back and have your ice cream. Go ahead.
Well, they say he has had a actual kind of behind the scenes shadow government going ever since the election when right after Biden was installed. So he has actually been putting all this together since then.
I could see that because because it would make a lot of sense of all the stuff that they try to do to him. I mean, the January 6th thing was planned on the other side. You can't stop that. You can't. They did the same thing to him, honestly, because they were planning on getting him out of office. So they made sure that he shouldn't be able to get back into office. And for the next 4 years, that's all we heard was he did this and this and this and this. But we shouldn't even think of him as a president. In all reality, that's what happened. Everybody saw that now. And that's what we have now. But anyways, what's your thoughts on the Senate hearings for get confirmation for some of the people? The Kash Patel one was evil. Because him and Tulsi Gabbard are the ones that I watched. RFK, I like some of the stuff that happened on that one, but the stuff for Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel, dude, they ran those people through the mud, and they're like, "You're gonna vote me in because y'all been fucking us."
Well, I unfortunately I didn't add it to a slide.
And that's fine.
But I think I can pull it up. Here's what he was talking about. And I already knew this. I may have even mentioned it sometime. I don't know if it was to you off of the screen. But did you see him go after Bernie Sanders?
Yes.
Now, see, no. I already knew that. And that's what.
Patel.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. RFK. You're right. I kept saying that earlier. It was RFK went after him over his donations to the can we say the P word? Pharma.
Oh, pharma. Yeah, we can say pharma.
Okay. To big pharma, and that's what they're worried about right now, because big pharma gets half of their revenue worldwide. Their profits are from America.
Yeah.
And the majority of them are from the V word. That's the majority. Not pills. The majority of them are from the V word.
Yeah.
And what he was talking about, and I already knew they were the top three, but I got the whole list, and I meant to include it in the slides. Bernie Sanders is number one for recipients from the pharmaceutical industry.
That's a lie, Bill. He said that. He said that's a lie.
Yeah, and that's another one I had pulled up, but I can't find it. The thing is, if you read that, if you hear what he said, he hasn't received this money from a CEO of. He hasn't received such and such money from a CEO of. Oh, he told the truth.
Yeah, he
Received
doesn't.
it from the company, not
Yeah.
directly from the CEO. So if you listen to him, it's not a lie, and he isn't really saying it's a lie. He's just, like you said, throwing the wording in.
Yeah.
And Bernie Sanders is number one. Raphael Warnock is number two. And Elizabeth Warren is number three.
A 3, yeah.
So they are terrified because their money tree is about to dry up. If he gets in, the big pharma grift is going to go away. And Trump will probably be working on it. Hey, maybe he will right now. Maybe it's part of behind the scenes, because people go, oh, look, he's not doing this. He's doing so much behind the scenes. We're not going to know. We're not going to know every executive order, what all of his cabinet members and the organizations that have temporary cabinet members, what they're doing. And one of the things he was going to do is get generics from Canada. That would be prescription drugs cheaper for all. Not their little mixing up with it's going to be cheaper for people on Medicare and Medicaid that he's said he's worked with. No, this would be cheaper for all. But since you've got the FDA, and anyone who's an officer of the FDA, pretty much when he quits, he goes and becomes an officer of a pharmaceutical company. So that is stopping them. The FDA won't approve getting prescriptions from medications from Canada. And that's what has stopped it. So he's got to have control of the organization, of the FDA, and then the FDA can look at it without the influence of the pharmaceutical donations and actually make a real decision for the American people.
Yeah. But what is the stuff with Cash Patel? Have you seen? I mean, he said the hard R on that during his stuff. That was kind of, I was like, did he really? They had to bleep it out and everything. But no, it's really horrible what they've been doing. Some the people that Trump put into some of these positions, I'm telling you, they treat these people like they're trash, and they're higher than these people. They're questioning everything.
Let's see what the latest Polymarket is showing. Do people know what Polymarket is?
I do not know what Polymarket is.
What? The betting markets?
Oh, okay. Betting polls.
Yeah, well, it's the betting market because because they do more than, it's not just political. You can bet on just about anything. And it looks like she's dropped a little bit. Right now, it's got you can bet on whether or not Tulsi, RFK, or Cash will get confirmed. And Tulsi is setting at 51% right now. RFK Jr. is at 76. Cash is at 98. So they're getting pretty sure that he will go through. Everyone else is in the 90s. I think they'll either just sail through, or the Democrats will keep doing their thing of having it where they speak on the floor for 30 hours just to delay. They may or may not do that because the rest of them is just like, yeah, okay. But those three, and we really need them. And earlier today, someone came out and said, if Trump doesn't get all three of those, or at least, no, I can't remember, there's 2 out of the 3, that he is going to go scorched earth on the Republican senators. Not sure exactly what that means.
Yeah, because right now the confirm is Tom Holland, Linda McMahon, Vivek's out. He's doing something with he's trying to become a governor or a state or something like that. And I think here's the odd thing about that one with Vivek. Everybody's like, oh, him and Elon couldn't get along and everything. No, I think they're trying to get Vivek into a state so he can help out with the presidency for the next 4 years, honestly.
Well, yeah, there was up and down over that. I think, and I can't remember the detail on it, but there were some conflicting ideologies about how to handle the issue at Doge. So there was a little bit of background of kerfluffle between the two of them. You know, and it's not like a complete falling out, but they had a differing of ideologies of how to handle it. And what Elon is going to do is push more of using AI and upgrading the computer systems of the government that are really ancient. So it misses a lot of this money because of the computer system. It just doesn't see it. They can go around it.
I can actually see that happening. I think that was more or less and it's one of those things that we don't need you because of XYZ, and he agreed to it. And people are like, people will make up shit because they don't know. But I think you're more or less right with the AI stuff. Like Musk using an AI tool to actually go through all this stuff. And what they found so far on a lot of stuff they're cutting, like they're cutting foreign aid. Like they cut like condoms for Gaza. $25 million worth of condoms for Gaza.
Well, it was 50, and it was going to go there, and the liberals are going, oh, it was never used for that. It was never used for that. Yeah, there's an article. This is another thing of, here's a lesson on searching. If you searched using condoms for explosives, you're not going to get it because liberals have Google bombed the net. So all you're going to get is liberals saying it doesn't happen. So do a date search with an end date previous to when the statement was made recently. That'll weed out all the liberal Google bombing. Then you'll see when it actually happened, and you'll actually get a publication of how they were doing it, what they were doing. And the publication that came up was actually from Israel and from one other country. It wasn't even anything in the United States that I found. And it showed pictures of how they were using condoms and other balloons. And it was burning fields. And it was previous to the October 7th. And what the article said is, if they didn't stop, it could possibly start a war. So they did all this before that was going on. And what it was doing is it was going off, coming down and burning fields. It was burning things. It wasn't like a bomb exploding. It was going off as fire. But you have to date limit it to find it. As far as AI, this was interesting. This image, there's someone who did a really, really deep into AI, and his statement was real interesting. In 1945, the U.S. raced Nazi Germany to build the atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
In 1969, the U.S. raced the Soviet Union to the moon. today, the US is racing China to artificial intelligence. The winner will control the future of civilization. And yeah, you'd have to see it. I mean, the guy goes really, really, really deep into it. He has one report on something that's broken down into 50 different X posts. So I've spent some time looking at it, but that is the importance of AI right now, and we got to get it going. That Chinese DeepSeek, we got to find out what went on, and Elon's kind of probably ticked at Trump over that one. I wonder if he even knew that that Trump was planning on supporting his competitor. We mentioned that last week, the competitor with OpenAI, Sam Altman. So we'll see, because Elon's Grok, however it's pronounced, isn't even yet considered in the top 3 or 4 of AI as far as its power and capability. But I'll tell you what Grok did. I asked it to create a, and I haven't been able to find it. I wish I could. I would say it more. To create a bio for me. And it took, and I have, a website, and it found it looked at X and what my posts on X would be. Then it found the website. It went over to the website. It must have analyzed years of posts in the website.
Really?
If you have a Disqus account, and say you change your screen name to make it some goofy screen name, like I put garbage something in a screen name. If you do that, it changes your screen name in every post you've ever made. So if you look back, say I added doctor to my screen name when Biden first won because of the way they were saying Dr. Jill. So I added doctor to it. So for a year or two, I had a screen name with doctor, and then something else happened, and I added deplorable something in it. So I've changed it. Somehow it found an old screen name and titled it with my old screen name that I can't even see anymore.
Really?
So this thing did all of that. Do you know how long it took? 3 seconds.
Wow.
3 seconds. It came up and it started populating with it. It came up with exactly the type of person I am, the type of posts I do, how I've organized my goals, what my goals are according to what I post. It came up with that all in a few seconds. And Elon doesn't have the biggest system out there. Oh, well. So it's when you start asking it some extra goofball questions, we'll have to mention it after we get off, because I tried to find it while we were talking. But
Yeah.
It'll just blow your mind when I go through what it looked at and what it determined. Now it has been looking at my more recent X posts, because it mentions my sarcasm and wit, and it focused heavily on that. And I have wasted so much time with JoJo, Brooklyn Dad, and all these just total morons that are on X. And I just started responding to them with just really, I mean, people are going, oh, your responses are, epic. They're really loving the humor of some of my responses. But you got to watch it about responding to certain liberal topics, because I actually have a post that all of a sudden has like thousands of impressions on it. I think I had last I looked over 1 point something thousand likes, because I generally go back and anyone who has replied to my X posts, which are just every once in a while, and I'll go back and I'll go, okay, and I'll reply to them. And I replied to this one. Okay, there's more people who replied to it. So I replied to that guy, and I looked, and there was 68 responses to it. And I went, okay, not taking the time to do that.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah,
here's another thing. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard threw out her whole thing. She's been speaking about U.S. government stealing the information from, or getting the information from private companies about U.S. citizens. This is what happened today, and this is coming from Alex Jones. And it's 5 minutes long. We'll go with the full 5 minutes because last time Bill almost, skewered me.
Concerning, because I don't think it fully appreciates China's perspective towards the United States. For example, with regard to TikTok. Your past statements have essentially said that requiring domestic ownership of TikTok is a violation of civil liberties, and the national security concerns are complete BS. Can you explain why you have this view on TikTok?
The position that I previously made, obviously not as a member of Congress, as you consider the TikTok legislation, were centered around the protection of Americans' First Amendment rights and the lack of data privacy legislation, frankly, that would apply to TikTok, Facebook, X, all of these different social media applications that collect on us as users of these applications. There were other provisions within that legislation that granted very vague and grandiose authorities to the president on deciding which private companies are or are not a national security threat.
So let's talk about China specifically, because this is where I want to make sure you understand what's at stake. We've had concerns over many years that when China owns infrastructure, it can manipulate that infrastructure. It can use it for spying. It could use it, turn it on or off. And you've actually addressed some of the most recent cyber attacks that we believe China had relevant participation. The challenge is, if China owns TikTok, it means they can spy on the United States, on the American people. It can take all the data from our children. It can change the narrative about what people are talking about through their algorithms. If it wants to create misinformation or malign foreign influence, it's very easy. So can you understand why it's so important that we require domestic ownership of TikTok?
I understand the concern, Senator. I would just reiterate some of my concerns that I stated in the past about how this really is an issue about data privacy, because so much of what is collected by all of these, even U.S.-owned companies, can be sold to any country.
I get it. And that is a bigger issue for Congress to wrestle, and I am all in for that conversation. But I want you to appreciate China. What is your view with regard to Taiwan? Do you think it is something that your intelligence efforts will understand how important our relationship is with Taiwan, specifically on chips manufacturing? I think President Trump has most recently decided to have a 100% tariff on all chips from Taiwan. And your statements, particularly about the bill we passed, the CHIPS Act, to make sure that domestic production is invested in, and so that we have that supply chain, and so we have that national security. But your public statements about the CHIPS Act have been very negative and don't seem to appreciate how important that independence is for our national security, to be beholden to China, to be beholden to Taiwan, to be in a place where we can't do our own national intelligence.
Yes, Senator, I fully support the investment in building and strengthening our own domestic capabilities. If I recall, that legislation had a lot of other provisions in it that had nothing to do with the production of our own capability, and I felt were a distraction away from and a potential obstacle towards achieving that.
So you will recommend to the president that we continue to invest in the semiconductor industry in the United States for our own independence as well as our own national security?
Yes, Senator, and I would base my recommendations on a number of all of these issues if confirmed as DNI, based on the full assessment of the intelligence picture, so that the president understands the ramifications and the potential cost towards any one of these policy positions that he will make.
Folks, I'm not funded by any big.
Okay.
The difference between what Biden and the liberals do with the CHIPS Act and what Trump does, CHIPS Act needs to go, because the liberals, their solution is to pay companies to build here. Pay companies, our tax dollars. Trump's strategy is to do things to entice them to build here using their own money. So the biggest drawback with something like a CHIPS facility, or one of the big drawbacks, is the regulations. It might take them 5 to 10 years to build a factory.
Yeah, that's
going
what
through the regulations. So between the regulations and his genius idea of, okay, I tell you what, you'll have the regular 21% tax that's a corporate tax when you have your plants there. If you move the plant here, we're going to drop your corporate tax rate to 15%. Boy, when I heard that, it was a genius maneuver. So that's how he gets, not the CHIPS Act, where our tax dollars, you have to increase our taxes. They have to go through and do a bill, and Congress has to negotiate and then have to try to pass it. And then the liberals will throw crap in it for extra spending. Instead of that, just, hey, companies, come over here. This is what I'll do to help you over here. And that's the big difference there. And Tulsi, one of the things that recently is going around that, Tulsi, she got on the terrorist watch list because she did this with Russia and she did that, and that's why she got on the terrorist watch list. And no, the day after she endorsed Trump, the TSA put her on the watch list.
No, it was FBI.
Okay, FBI. Yeah, you're right. Oops.
Here's another thing that's kind of scary right now is, I mean, I know it's tax season right now. I've been having a lot of friends that they file their taxes and they're only getting like $300 and they're making $60,000 a year. They're making $60,000 a year and they're only getting $300 back.
Well, I mean, it depends on what else they have going on, whether they put extra in, they use the standard deduction, they have other deductions, they have other money coming in through other sources. Right now, you can still get a decent little bit of interest rate on something that doesn't freeze your money up. I'm getting 4% on a savings account and 5% on a CD right now. But opportunities as they raise the interest rates, opportunities for those are kind of fading. Got it locked in for a few months. So that all, when you've got that coming in, that's all taxable. So depends on a lot of things what they have going on. If their situation stayed the same, they hadn't put any more in. As far as I know, the tax tables hadn't changed. And if Trump doesn't get the extension of his tax cut in, right now our taxes are still working with his tax cut, our last year's taxes. So he had dropped or increased the standard deduction. And that's why a lot of people got extra money back. If he doesn't get that done, made permanent, extended, then next year that standard deduction is going to go back down to what it was pre-Trump.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be paying more in taxes. I use the standard deduction. I don't itemize, but I haven't done mine yet. I guess I should have. No, there's some things that haven't come in yet that I'm still waiting on.
I'm waiting on my W-2s. So, but this is a good stopping point for right now. We'll get back to it next week. But anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. We didn't have our big blowout like we did this week because we're talking about something that was like high on topic scale. But that cute winter boots blew us up a little bit. But
next week, get ready. Deep dive into NGOs.
NGOs. What are those again? I know I should know this, but I'm tired.
Non-government organizations, like charities, things like that. They, you get a company that, or an organization, a nonprofit, and they give money to other nonprofits, and then they give money to another nonprofits. And you get these people who are running nonprofits, and they take salaries of hundreds of thousands of dollars running a nonprofit. So what happened is, I look at it and I go, okay, this company does this to these, this company does these. So there's a few hundred things out there. Someone created an AI search, and they linked that out there, our tax dollars will go to this company, this nonprofit. They'll send it to this nonprofit and this nonprofit to do this activity that no one has paid attention to. And when they put the system together, 55,000 liberal NGOs. That's what's being funded by our government. Funding one of them that funds others, that funds others. So you see how it's a fight against liberalism? They've got this network that's been built. And I followed it in 2016. They started creating some of the network. The actual NGOs, they would go back to the 50s and 60s. The late 70s was the big push for them, that they started organizing it and burying these things so you couldn't find it. But having an AI peek around, just like my comment of it found me, my ex post, a website, all the posts I'd done on Discuss, and it looked at all of those and organized the information. They had an AI look at the nonprofits, and it found 55,000. Henceforth, my background this week, that looks like a conspiracy theorist thing. And you start looking at NGOs, and that's what you're looking at. You think it's a conspiracy theory when you say that number, and then you look over and you look at them and you go, what? This money goes to this institution, and then they send it to this, and they send it to this. And by the time you get down, it's kind of like during Trump's first election. During the one that was stolen. I just flat out say that.
Yeah, we can say that.
I looked and I found some people who were watching the people from Michigan. Never mind. I won't get into that. I would have to go like 15 minutes to at least to get into that. But anyway, the gist of it is I went to X, Twitter at that time, and I looked at what someone was saying, and then I looked at his friends, and then I looked at what they were saying to each other. And then I looked into their friends list, and I eventually got down to a group of friends that weren't necessarily thinking they were saying something between each other that other people were paying attention to. So it was deep in the works before you found like, threatening such and such. That's working in that state. So let's threaten these people. Well, you had to dig deep and find it. And that's how you gotta handle politics. You can't look on the surface. You can't look on the surface. You got to dig, and you keep digging, and you keep digging. And that's what the AI, where I would dig, and I might spend a month and find a couple of dozen organizations. This thing probably went like that and went, oh, look what's out there.
But other than that, since 20 minutes ago I wanted to cut this, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm David Dickerman.
And I'm Wild William.
I'll talk to you next.
Oh, Bill Staten. Okay. Do they see the screen name?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right. Love you guys. Later.
Later.